Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Virgo King 93 back in the building with another fucking video. What's going on? If you don't know me, I'm Virgo King 93. I'm just playing, aka the Thirst King. You know what it is. Thirsty's dude in Los Angeles. What's going on? Virgo King 93 back in the building. What's going on, y'all, man? And today, man, we're gonna do a season review on Tokyo Revengers, man. I've been waiting to do this. I've been waiting to finish the series, and I did it. So, without further ado, let's hit this intro that we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, man. Yes, sir. Tokyo Revengers, man. It is finally done, bruh. Man, bruh. Let me tell you, man. I really appreciate this anime, man, and how well and structured it is, man. From characters to story, man. And to be honest, man, I ain't gonna lie. I wish there was more. I mean, there will be more, but I wish it was more. Like, I didn't want this season to end as fast as it did. 24 episodes. That's all we got for the first season. I mean, that's pretty standard, but I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you finish an anime, you want to know what's next. Like when you finish a series, you want to know what's next. You want it right away. Sure, I can go read the manga, but nah, I'm doing anime, homie. I can go ahead, I can read that shit, but it won't be as much as a surprise to me when I watch it as an anime and then do a review for y'all. It won't be exciting. I want to be able to predict. I want to make my predictions. I want to be able to tell y'all the story a little bit. Let's get into it. But basically, Tokyo Revenge is about a boy named Takamichi, man. This little weak, pathetic, crybaby ass dude who basically, ends up going back to the past. So let me tell you this. If you like the race, I think you'll like this. I think you will. I think this is deeper than a race was. It's a lot more exciting than a race was. I love the race, but this is better. This is a little bit darker. You know what I'm saying? I think just a little bit more darker to it. You know what I'm saying? But basically, he's able to go back in time, and his moral objective is to save his ex girlfriend from middle school, Hina. Hina is getting killed in the future because somehow she's involved in the Tokyo Majin gang. Tokyo Majin gang are basically gang members in Japan, basically biker gangs in general, really, who basically compete with each other for control over the city, control over basically for power. You know how gangs are. You know what it is. And the four gangs are Toma. Sorry, I think I can name. I think there's more, but I think I can name four off the top of the dome. Toma, which is the primary gang we're gonna be focusing on. Morbius, Valhalla, and the Black Dragons. Okay, so basically, it's Takamichi's job to save her from whatever laid waste to her and what led to her death. And he went back in time trying to solve the issues. He had to get in good with the Tokyo Majin gang. Basically, Toma in particular, he had to befriend them. Actually, he became friendly. He really became friends with these characters, man. And this story is really, really good, man. It don't sound like too interesting, but it really is, man. Him going back in time to save his girl. It's so much. It sounds pretty cliche, but trust me, it's a lot more to it. You get to see Takamichi's involvement in this gang, how he becomes a part of this gang, how he connects with the characters, how much people start to respect him. And let me tell you, a lot of that shit took a minute, dog, because Takamichi is a protagonist who is a pussy. I never seen a protagonist get his ass whooped so much until I watched this show. Bruh, people were beating this dude's ass. It's a gang thing. It's all hands. Maybe some people might bring knives to the fight or something like that. But something like that. But weapons, poles, But this dude just gets his ass whooped. Like even by members, he's fucking with. Like niggas in the Toma gang. He basically joined Toma. They was beating his ass before he became officially a member. They still was beating his ass. And I'm just like, dude, like fight back, bro. Like show some backbone, bro. Like he kind of became a nuisance. Like he was annoying. But through time, Takamichi does grow on you, and if you understand what he's doing, and you understand his background, you understand that that's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to understand that's just who he is. It's his kind-heartedness that wins you over, and to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if you want to be in a gang, bro, you gotta fight, bro. You gotta defend yourself. You gotta earn people respect. Takamichi is a great character. That's what his kindness. That's what separates himself from everybody else. I mean, they're all kind to each other, but he just follows orders. Like another gang member could walk up to him and be like, "Hey, follow me," and he'd be like, "Okay." Like, bro, do you realize like you fuck with the Toma gang, and now you following this Valhalla nigga, and he gonna kill you? That's how it is. That's basically what happens in the show. A lot of this stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things, but we have great characters in this show. The leader of the Toma gang, known as Mikey, the almighty Mikey, homie. Bruh got hands. Bruh's a leader. Bruh is fearless. Bruh has his crew back. This gang is fire. Then he got his right hand man, Draken, the OG. Keeps Mikey in check when shit goes south. But I'm gonna give some credit to Takamichi because a little bit of him kind of rubs off on Mikey a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Takamichi can kind of check him a little bit, just a little. Not like check him, like get in your place like that. Nah, it's more like he'll talk to him. You know what I'm saying? He'll literally talk to you like, don't trust this guy, or you know, he'll talk to him. You know, with his soft ass. But it's okay. You know, sometimes Mikey, sometimes like you know, everybody loses their way, and you need somebody to talk to. That's what friends are for, to support each other. But man, basically the Toma gang basically formed, you know, basically them as childhood friends. Minus Takamichi, but it started with a few members: Draken, Mikey, Chifu, Takashi, who else? Baji. A couple of members were in. They basically formed it in middle school, and basically their thing was to become a biker gang, run Tokyo how they want to run it. You know, live free basically. Also, they formed a gang to have each other back, to support each other, to love each other. You know, no matter what, we got each other back. Because, you know, in a crazy world, you know, it's hard to find loyal people, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically what they did. They formed this gang to have each other back, to show structure, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what they did. And you know, watching them form the gang as kids, like, you get, like, a little side story of how they do it. You get an understanding of that. You know, a couple members were kicked out. You know, because a member was kicked out because it's an accident. He said, "I want you to watch the anime so you can see why he was kicked. This member was kicked out. It was an accident, but it was fucked up at the same time. But you get some depths in this anime. You get some great character development. You get some fights. You get a little bit of love in it. Like it's a lot of things that go on in this. You get some betrayal. It's wild, man. It's a lot of. It's not a lot of it. It's time traveling in this anime between Takamichi going to the past to the future. So basically, he'll learn some information from the future, take it back to the past, and it affects the future. It could be good or bad. So if somebody was dead in the future, you can save them in the past, they'll be alive in the future. But there's always a twist. There's always a small twist. And I'll give you one. Let's say this. I'll give you one. Draken, he was basically killed in the past. He was killed in the past. He was stabbed. And it led to this ordeal with Mikey. Mikey became a savage. Now, they talked about it, but they never showed how Mikey was. We never see Mikey in the future. A lot of the members we start seeing throughout the season in the future, but Mikey is somebody you don't see. But they're trying to piece the puzzle. They're trying to. So what they're doing, they're building it up. From this first season, they're gonna lead up to Mikey. I don't know what they're gonna do in season 2. I'm assuming it's gonna happen in season 2, because nobody knows what happened to Mikey. There's some things that happen in there. Then you're like, where the hell is Mikey? All of a sudden he disappeared. Like there was a story. There was a story in the future saying he was a savage. He was doing this. Boom, boom, boom. He was dangerous. Boom, because you know he's the leader of Toma. He goes back to the past, change some shit. Then you come back. Now all of a sudden, Mikey is nowhere to be seen in the future. Like you get shit like that because shit changes. Now I don't know when we're gonna see Mikey in the future. I don't know what he looks like. But I'm sure he's still the badass he was when he was in middle school. I can tell you that right now. Or high school, whatever. Yeah, middle school. You know, it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. It's not too much time traveling, but, you know, another important character was Hina's brother. Naoto. He basically became a cop, and he's the one that's basically sending Takamichi to the past and future, you know, get their information so he could save his sister, Hina. You know, Hina, she's important, you know, to the, you know, that, you know, premise of the story, but at the same time, like, she's not too important, you know what I mean? Like she's not the main focus in the past. Like, the whole idea is to go back and save her, but we're not focusing on her too much, you know what I mean? Like, she's there, but, you know, they're not focused on the relationship too much, but there is scenes where, you know, they do. You know, and what I do like is, like, there's a point where he thought he saved her going to the future. He did save her, but she still ends up dying. She ends up dying to a member of the Valhalla gang, basically. Well, not to one of Takamichi's middle school friends, and I'm not gonna get into that, but basically, you see Hina die. This shit was kind of sad. They drove another car into her while it was parked. Boom, hit her into the wall. She was smashed. She lost her whole bottom half, and basically she died. She told Takamichi she always loved him. She was wondering why she broke up with him. He broke up with her. Boom, and basically, Takamichi, his character was up and down. He'll get motivated to do something, do it, and as soon as something go wrong, that motivation goes down. Like I said, his character was just it was kind of irritating, but he grows on you so much. Like I said, one of the antagonists of the show is Teta, and this dude played his role so well. This dude, his name, he basically was a leader of he was a member of Morbius. He started a gang called Valhalla. Valhalla became the rival gang of Toma. They had more members. They ended up fighting on this thing called the Bloody Halloween. Don't let the name really like misinterpret you. It wasn't like too bloody or nothing like that. Like, you know what I mean? But they ended up fighting, and basically one of the Toma members ended up getting killed. Basically, Teta was the leader of Valhalla, but Toma didn't know that. He ends up joining Toma. He basically infiltrated them, and basically was fighting with them against Valhalla. So the whole idea was to use Valhalla to infiltrate Toma, and basically become members of Toma, you know what I'm saying, and infiltrate from the inside. It was kind of wild. Like that's basically a lot of the stuff that was going on in the past. His goal was to infiltrate. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened necessarily, but basically he infiltrated Toma, and Takamichi was trying to piece a lot of this stuff together the whole time. And Teta is very dangerous, man. He played his role very well. A lot of these characters played their role very well. So this is why Toma became the top gang. I believe some of the members of the Black Dragon ended up becoming part of Toma, but I don't know how they ended up jumping in there all of a sudden. That's one thing they didn't explain. But the antagonist, man, he knew how to play his role. His right hand man knew how to play his role, and basically, man, it seemed like a lot of the plan was to get Mikey out the way. But besides that, that's just me summing certain things up. But overall, I feel like this anime it can get pretty deep, man. It's just I'm just and I have so many speculations for season 2, like like I said about Mikey, disappearing. And then there's a bunch of other things, like they felt like they had a worm inside Toma who was snitching to the police because they ended up getting a lot of this stuff happened at the end. But it's a lot, man. It's so much, and it's like it leaves so many questions. So now it's kind of hard to speculate. I mean, I can speculate, but it's hard to, because now and then a lot of these speculations, they could just be bullshit. But I'm suggesting people watch this and watch the story, watch the characters, watch how things come into play. That's just me. That's how I feel. It isn't the most action-packed anime. Like, don't expect fighting all the time. Expect a lot of talking, just to learn. A lot of, you get to see people, some character development in certain characters. Some characters remain the same, to be honest. A lot of them do. They don't change because they're loyal to the soil. They want to be who they are regardless. So the members of Toma, a lot of them stay the same even in the future. They're not different. They're not much different. They want to be the same people. They want to be the same family they started. Yes, a lot of these characters, they break down, due to losses and stuff like that. You see a lot of that, but at the same time, they remain them because they know what each other. They know. Let's say one of the members died. Let's say Mikey lost one of the members. He will have to stay. He will cry, break down, but then he'll rebuttal, and he'll be like, "This ain't what he want. He will want me to do this. He'll want me to carry." They'll pick themselves back up, carry that torch, and do what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But then now you got your antagonist, trying to ruin that. You know what I'm saying? But that's where Takamichi comes in. Takamichi is piecing things out. Takamichi knows who's a bad person and who's good and bad. He gets the gist of that. He was basically going back and forth trying to piece that together. He knew Teta was bad. He knew it. But he told Mikey like he don't trust him. But at the same time, Mikey was like, prove to me that he ain't trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what Mikey told him. But he can't prove nothing. So, he can easily just start telling people, but he can't prove nothing. You know what I mean? So Teta played his role, and basically he basically was like he played his role really well. That's all I can say. But a lot of these characters you're gonna grow, you're gonna love. Some of the deaths they really do hit. So a couple of the deaths really hit. Some of the emotion. One of the biggest emotional parts to me was one of my favorites was when uh, Kazutora. Kazutora. Now this dude, he's an important character to me. He is an important character. He was originally a member of Toma. Then he left to Valhalla. And the reason why he no longer was a member of Toma is because he ended up killing Mikey's brother by accident. And basically, I'm not going to explain necessarily what happened, but there was a moment where Kazutora was going to jail, and Mikey told him, like, "Hey, bruh, you still a member of Toma, and I forgive you." That shit hit. Now at that moment, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of reminded me of one of my homeboys named Jody. That nigga, that's what he reminded me of. When he said that shit, I was like, "Fuck!" But that in this show, it that shit hit. Like you felt that shit. You know what I'm saying? You feel a lot of things from these characters, man, because you got to understand, man, friendships, it's hard to let long-lasting friendships go. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Like, no matter how dirty they do you, like, you still love them, but you got to love them from a distance. You know what I mean? That's just how it has to be. You get a sense of that in this show. But, man, I suggest people check this anime out, man. It's worth the watch, man. Animation. Before we do that, I want to talk about the character design a little bit. It's kind of wishy-washy, bruh. I'm telling you this right now. When they're older, like in the beginning, really, when they're older, they look more like kids. But when you go back to the past, like I'm not saying all of them, but certain characters, Takamichi and Takamichi in general, he looks like a kid. But when he's younger, he looks a little bit more adultish. You know what I mean? He looks more of an adult. Maybe because of his haircut. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But the character design is kind of weird. Like it's just how they dress. It's early 2000s compared to 2017. Maybe that's what it is. But the character design is kind of weird. But then at the end, you start seeing them when they're older. Like, I mean, it's still the same year, but you see the difference in how they dress and how they look. Now they look grown. You'll see that in this show. It's kind of weird. It'll throw you off, man. You'll be like, what the hell? Is this the younger Takamichi? That's the older. I mean, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Because he has two different hairstyles. So you'll know the difference. But I'm just saying. But I suggest people check this shit out, man. Don't expect too much fighting. Expect fighting. This is straight fist fight. It ain't nothing too crazy. But it's worth the watch, man. For a story, yes. The season just ended. So now you got the full ending. I don't think the dub is done yet. So if you want to watch dub, just give it a couple of weeks. I think they'll be caught up pretty much. Like 2-3 more weeks. They'll be caught up. As far as it go, man, great story, great characters in there. It gets slow in certain areas. I'm not even gonna lie, but it's really enjoyable. Let me know what you guys think, man. Did you guys watch this? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, man. Because I suggest this to a lot of people. If you want to get off the mainstream shit, this is what I'm recommending for you. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. In the description below, you got my homeboys. Go ahead and follow their channel, Twitch, all that. Business inquiries, all that is down there, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. And I'm the Virgo King, man. And this has been my little discussion review on it. So check it out.